Imagine that the person you love the most wakes up one day and doesn't remember who you are. That everything you lived together, every kiss, every promise, every shared dream disappears from their mind as if it never existed. And you are left staring into those same eyes that once loved you, now filled with confusion, fear, and distance. This is the story of Leo and Paige. A real story, as painful as it is beautiful, a story where love fights against oblivion. It all began on a cold night, with snow falling over the city. Leo and Paige were driving home after watching a movie. He sang off-key, she laughed. They were happy, the kind of love that feels invincible. At a red light, Paige leaned over and kissed him, joking that if they kept this up, they'd soon have a baby. They laughed. They loved. And then, in a single second, everything changed. A truck crashed into them head-on. The sound of metal crushing, glass shattering, screams. Paige was thrown through the windshield. And in an instant, their perfect life turned into tragedy. Both were rushed to the hospital. Leo had only minor injuries. Paige was in a coma with a severe brain injury. The diagnosis was uncertain, but Leo never left her side. Day after day, he sat beside her, talking as if she could hear him. He told her about their love, their promises, their vows. "I promise to love you fiercely in all conditions," he whispered, remembering their wedding. A wedding so unique, so theirs. At the Art Institute of Chicago, surrounded by friends, without permission, sealing their love with a kiss in front of a sculpture. There, they vowed to love each other forever even if life tried to tear them apart. And life kept its promise. When Paige finally woke up, she looked at him in confusion. She didn't remember anything. She didn't know who Leo was. And the worst part, she believed she was still engaged to her ex-boyfriend, Jeremy. To her, the last 5 years simply didn't exist. Her memory had erased everything, even the love she once felt for her husband. Leo was devastated. The woman he loved with all his soul looked at him like a stranger. Still, he didn't give up. He decided to win her heart back, as if it were the first time. But the road ahead wasn't easy. Paige's parents, a wealthy, strict family, used the situation to keep her away from Leo. And now, with her amnesia, they wanted her back, just as she was before him. Leo was completely alone, fighting against everyone. He tried to remind her of their life together, their routines, their friends, their art. He took her home, showed her videos, photos, voice messages. He cooked her favorite breakfast, cared for her tenderly, and waited for her eyes to recognize him again. But each attempt ended in frustration. Paige felt overwhelmed, out of place. Everything was too different from what she remembered. It hurt her not to feel anything for him, even though deep down, she knew she once did. One night, during dinner with her parents, Leo realized something heartbreaking. Paige was becoming the woman she used to be before the accident. Polite, elegant, obedient, but empty. The version her parents wanted, not the woman he had fallen in love with. Love slowly turned into pain. One day, Paige visited her ex-fiancé Jeremy. She needed answers. She needed to understand why her life had changed so much. Jeremy, confused, confessed that she had left him without explanation before getting married. And in a moment of nostalgia, they kissed. But Paige pulled away. That kiss felt like nothing. And although she didn't know why, something inside her knew her heart belonged to another man. Meanwhile, Leo kept trying. He remembered every small thing that made her laugh, her quirks, her passion for art. He planned a date exactly like their first one, same cafe, same pier, same freezing water they used to jump into every month. For a few hours, time stopped. They laughed, they connected. That night, they made love as if destiny had given them one more chance. But in the morning, the illusion shattered. Paige, confused, left for her parents' house. She still couldn't love him the same way. And Leo finally understood, no matter how much love you give, you can't force someone to remember. Days went by. Leo lost everything: his wife, his peace, even his job began to fall apart. Until one day, Paige decided to study law again. She wanted to start over, even if she didn't know whether that path would make her happy. At her sister's wedding, Leo tried to stay strong. But among the guests was Jeremy, who smugly told him that Paige had kissed him. Leo lost control and punched him in front of everyone. That was the breaking point, the end of what little was left between them. Paige, crying, told him she was tired of disappointing him. And Leo, heartbroken, just said, "How do you watch the person you love and realize it's time to let them go?" They said goodbye, knowing their story was over. At least, in this lifetime. Leo went back to his empty studio. He remembered every promise, every look, every laugh. And for the first time, he let go. But even in surrender, he still loved her. Meanwhile, Paige began remembering small fragments of her old life. A smell, a song, a drawing. Everything reminded her of Leo, even if her mind couldn't fully piece it together. Until one day, a conversation with her mother changed everything. Paige discovered her father had cheated. And suddenly, she understood why she had walked away from her family before the accident. She realized her past wasn't as perfect as she believed. And that the woman she used to be wasn't truly happy. So she changed. She quit law school, rented her own apartment, and started sculpting again. Little by little, her hands remembered what her mind had forgotten. Time passed. They both followed separate paths. But destiny, as always, had other plans. One winter afternoon, just like that tragic night, Paige walked into a cafe. And there he was, Leo. Two broken souls who once loved each other madly, now face to face in silence. She smiled. She told him she was an artist again, that she was finally finding who she truly was. She thanked him for loving her even when she couldn't love him back. And he, with a look full of tenderness, simply replied, "I just want you to be happy." She suggested they go to a new Cuban cafe different from the one they used to visit. A new place. A new story. And in that moment, Leo understood something. He didn't need her to remember. Because somehow, their love was still alive. He just had to start all over again. The camera pulls away, showing them walking through the snow. No promises. No certainties. Only the hope that maybe, love can be born again. Sometimes we forget who we love, but the heart doesn't. Even if the mind forgets, the soul never does.